Story numero 1. The gas station at 2 a.m. I was 19 at the time, working long shifts at a warehouse about an hour from my apartment. That night, I finished late, almost 2 in the morning, and decided to take the back highway home. Fewer lights, fewer cops, and honestly, I just wanted quiet. But around halfway through the drive, I started dozing off. My vision blurred at the edges, and I knew I needed a quick stop, stretch my legs, maybe grab some water. That's when I saw it, this tiny old gas station. One flickering light above the door. The neon open sign flickered as I pulled into the gas station, its light casting a ghostly glow over the lot. The night was unnaturally still, the kind of silence that makes your skin prickle. Exhausted from my warehouse job, I stopped to grab water, but the moment I stepped inside, the air felt wrong, like something had already broken here. Behind the counter, the cashier lay slumped, his face pale and still. A jagged dent marred the register, and a long trail of broken glass led to the back door. My stomach twisted. This wasn't an accident. The register drawer was open, but the cash box was missing. "Sir," I knelt beside him, placing a hand on his shoulder. "Are you okay?" He stirred slightly, his eyes fluttering open but didn't respond. He was alive, barely clinging to consciousness. My breath hitched as panic set in. I needed help. But before I could do anything, I realized my phone was still in the car. Determined, I stood and made my way toward the exit. That's when I noticed movement outside, the headlights of a pickup truck pulling into the lot. The driver stepped out, holding something large and rusty, a key the size of my hand. He looked disheveled, his eyes glassy and unfocused, moving with an erratic gait. My instincts screamed caution as he approached. Something was off about him. As he passed by me, I caught a glimpse of his bag, filled with suspicious packages, their shapes and labels vaguely resembling something illicit. "You shouldn't be here," he said, his voice low and venomous. I froze. "What did you do to him?" I whispered, my voice cracking. He tilted his head, smirking. He tried to be righteous, refused to sell my stuff. Now he won't be talking to anyone. His eyes narrowed. "And if you're smart, you'll forget what you saw, walk back to your car, drive home. Act like this never happened." I took a step back, but he moved faster. In one fluid motion, he grabbed my wrist and shoved a plastic bag into my hand. Inside, a white powder shimmered. "Take it," he hissed, "or I'll make sure your car ends up in the river." I stared at the bag, my pulse roaring in my ears. This is a test, I realized. Not just to silence me, but to mark me, to show I was complicit. The drugs would be in my system when the cops arrived. "Go on," he growled, shoving the bag harder into my palm. "Or I'll kill you now, no witnesses." I nodded, my throat too tight to speak. He released me and walked to his truck, the engine roaring to life. I waited until the headlights vanished down the road before sprinting to my car. The moment I locked the doors, I dialed 911. My hands shook so badly I spilled the drug bag on the seat, but I didn't care. The line rang once. "Dispatch, what's your emergency?" "I found an injured man at the gas station on 4th Street. The cashier is unconscious. There's a dent in the register from a heavy tool, and the suspect is in a rusted pickup. He just left. We're on our way. Stay put and don't touch anything." I nodded even though she couldn't see me. The police arrived in 15 minutes, sirens wailing. 2 officers stormed inside, another stayed with me. They found the cashier barely conscious. When they searched the area, they located the rusted wrench under the counter. The next morning, the station manager confirmed the cashier had refused to cooperate with the suspect's drug deals. He said he'd burn the place down, she told the officers. 3 days later, they found the thug's truck abandoned near the river. They never found him. The suspect was never seen again, but sometimes in the mirror, I swear I see his face. Him watching, waiting. Story numero 2. He was just standing there. It was the middle of October when I picked him up. I don't usually stop for hitchhikers, too many weird stories out there. But that night I was driving a quiet stretch of highway just outside of Monroe, heading back from my brother's. Cold, foggy, the kind of night where your headlights feel too weak, and there he was. Standing on the shoulder, thumb out, hoodie, jeans, a huge backpack slung over one shoulder. His head was down, perfectly still. I passed him at first, drove right by, but something tugged at me. Guilt, pity, I slowed down, put it in reverse. He jogged up with stiff, uneven steps. "Thanks," he muttered, not looking at me. "Just a few miles down." He got in, carefully placed the backpack on the back seat and closed the door, and then the smell hit. I gagged before I could help it, like rotting meat left out in the sun. Thick, sweet, decaying. He didn't seem to notice. I cracked the window and tried to breathe through my mouth. "Where you headed?" I asked, trying not to sound shaken. "Just past the gas station," he said, eyes locked forward. His voice was hoarse, like he hadn't used it in days. The silence settled fast. He didn't fidget, didn't pull out a phone. He just sat there, unmoving, like he was holding his breath. I glanced at the back seat. His backpack was wet. The canvas smeared with dark stains. Not rain, not mud, thicker, clotted in places. My pulse ticked faster. His hands sat folded in his lap. Pale, fingernails bitten down to the flesh. No rings, no dirt, just clean fingers, too clean. We drove in silence. 10 minutes in, I noticed a flicker in the rearview mirror, a pair of headlights behind us. Distant but steady. Then finally he spoke. "You ever pick anyone up before?" "Not really," I said. "You're the first." He didn't smile, didn't blink. "I wouldn't have stopped tonight if I were you." The way he said it, flat, casual, no menace, it chilled me. I gave a nervous laugh. "Why's that?" No answer. I checked the mirror again, the car behind us gone. We passed the gas station. He didn't say a word. "You, wanted out back there, right?" He turned his head slowly. "No, not yet." I gripped the wheel tighter. My heart thudded against my ribs, then he straightened suddenly. "Pull over here." It was a gravel turnout, no signs, just thick woods on both sides. "This where you live?" I asked. No answer, just that stare. Against every instinct, I pulled over. He opened the door, stepped out, unzipped the backpack. The smell doubled, my eyes watered. He pulled out something wrapped in crumpled butcher paper, soaked through dark red. Another object clinked after it, a large, rusted machete, the blade smeared with old blood. He placed the wrapped bundle on my passenger seat. "Thanks for the ride," he said softly. "You get home safe, all right." Then he turned and walked into the trees. I didn't move for at least a minute. The air inside the car felt thick, poisoned. My fingers trembled as I reached for the bundle. The butcher paper crinkled like dead skin under my touch, its edges matted with something sticky. I peeled it back slowly, and the stench hit me first, iron-rich and raw, like a wound left to rot in the sun. Inside lay a jagged slab of meat, its surface glistening with congealed blood. It was the size of a human forearm, but the coarse, matted fur and the gnarled tendons running through it told me it wasn't human. My stomach lurched. I didn't care what it was. I yanked the door open and heaved the bundle into the ditch. It landed with a wet thud, swallowed by the shadows. No time to think. I cranked the engine, slammed the door, and sped off, the trees blurring past the rearview mirror. I didn't look back. I should have thrown the whole seat out. Burned the car maybe, but the smell, it never really left. I tried to scrub it, mask it, air it out. Nothing worked. Sometimes I swear it's worse when I'm alone at night, like it's seeping back in. And that machete, I didn't even see him take it when he left, just a damp mark on the seat. I don't stop for hitchhikers anymore. I don't drive at night if I can help it. But sometimes when I look in the mirror, I think I see something moving in the back seat, like he left more than just the smell. Story numero 3. Google Maps led me to a field with 3 abandoned cars. It happened about 3 weeks ago, but I still think about it every time I get behind the wheel at night. I was driving home from a weekend trip, nothing fancy, just a solo getaway out of town. Around 9:30 p.m., my GPS suddenly rerouted me due to traffic ahead. Google Maps suggested a new path, 15 minutes shorter. I was tired, so of course I took it. At first, everything looked normal. A few turns off the main road, then a stretch of narrow, cracked pavement. No streetlights, no houses, just fields and silence. After about 10 minutes, the road turned into gravel. Then dirt. No signs, no warning. I figured it would reconnect with a real road soon. GPS still showed me on track. But then I saw them, 3 cars, just sitting there in the middle of the field. At first, I thought maybe someone broke down or there was a party nearby. But the cars were abandoned. Dusty, no license plates. All the doors were slightly open, just enough to notice. One of the hoods was popped. The trunk of the 3rd car was wide open, and no one was around. I slowed down. My headlights washed over them, and I had this sudden, sick feeling in my stomach, like I'd just walked into someone else's nightmare. Why were the trunks open? Why were the plates missing? I turned my lights to high beam and scanned the area. No movement, no animals, nothing. Then I noticed something worse. All three cars were the same model as mine. Same make, same color. The kind of coincidence that doesn't feel like a coincidence at all. That's when I panicked. I threw it in reverse, backed out onto the dirt path, and floored it back the way I came. Only, the GPS wouldn't reload the route. No signal. No recenter button. Just a blue dot floating in the middle of nowhere. I kept driving, heart racing. Finally found my way back to a paved road after what felt like forever. I pulled into a gas station and tried to report it, but when I showed them the coordinates, they said there was no road there. Just old farmland. I tried checking Street View later. The images cut off exactly at the turnoff. No dirt road, no cars, just a gap in the map. I still don't know what I stumbled into that night. But I never use alternative routes anymore, and I never drive that late when I'm alone.